Have you ever jolted awake in the middle of the night, rolled over, and glanced at the clock, 3 a.m., for 17 a.m., 5:03 a.m., only to realize you're wide awake and drifting back to sleep feels impossible? You try everything. Closing your eyes, changing positions, counting backward, maybe even praying a little, but the more you try, the more alert your mind becomes. By the time the sun rises, you're left feeling drained, foggy, and frustrated. If this sounds like you, especially if you're a woman over 60, let me assure you, this isn't just random insomnia. In fact, your body might be trying to send you a message. You wake up at 3 a.m. with your brain more awake than it was at noon. That's not just a sleep problem, it's a signal, and it could be your body's subtle cry for help. The good news? You don't have to keep suffering in silence. Once you understand what's really going on behind these early morning wake-ups, you can turn them into powerful opportunities to heal your body, calm your mind, and reconnect with your inner self. In this video, I'm going to share 5 essential things you should do immediately when you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. These are not generic sleep tips. They're grounded in real-life experience and over a decade of working with older adults, especially women. And please, whatever you do, don't skip number 4. It's the one most people overlook, but it might just be the reason you haven't been sleeping through the night. Before we begin, if you've ever found yourself lying awake at this hour wondering, why now? Go ahead and hit the like button and comment 1 below. I promise you, your story matters, and your comment might just let another woman know she's not alone in this. Because here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of women over 60, the solution to waking up at 3 a.m. isn't always in a pill or a pillow. Sometimes, it's about listening to your body, your emotions, even your memories. It's about noticing the patterns that show up when the world goes quiet. And the moment you learn how to read those signals instead of fighting them, that's when real rest begins. So if you're tired of tossing and turning, if you're done with staring at the ceiling in the dark, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover what's really happening in your body and what to do about it. Let's begin with the most misunderstood habit people fall into after waking up at this hour. They try to force themselves back to sleep. Part 1. Don't force yourself back to sleep. Listen to your body. Let's start with something almost everyone does instinctively, but which might actually be keeping you awake even longer. The moment you open your eyes at 3 a.m., you likely whisper to yourself, I need to sleep. I need to sleep now. Then comes the bargaining. If I fall asleep right this minute, I still get 3 hours. Okay, now 2.5. Wait, it's almost 4:30. Will I sleep at all? Sound familiar? This is one of the most common traps I see in older women, and the one that leads to even more sleeplessness. The truth is, the more you force yourself to sleep, the more your brain resists. Why? Because trying to will yourself back into sleep triggers the release of cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, which increases alertness and makes relaxation nearly impossible. You're not broken, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's simply your body responding to perceived pressure. And here's the part most people don't realize. Sometimes, waking up isn't a sleep issue at all. It's your body trying to get your attention. That's why I want you to remember this. The harder you chase sleep, the further it runs. But if you pause and listen, your body will tell you exactly what it needs. Instead of fighting the clock or burying yourself under the covers in frustration, try gently sitting up. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, where am I holding tension? What part of me feels unsettled right now? It could be something as simple as needing to adjust your pillow or stretch your back. Or it might be something deeper, an emotion you've ignored, a worry you haven't acknowledged, a tightness in your chest you've pushed aside all day. In fact, some of the greatest minds in history, Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, Nikola Tesla, used these quiet hours not as a curse but as a gateway to creativity, introspection, and insight. I've had patients who've discovered their best ideas or most healing breakthroughs not during therapy, but between 3 and 5 a.m., simply because they stopped fighting and started listening. So here's what I recommend. Keep a small notebook by your bedside. If you wake up, write down the first thoughts that come to mind. No filtering, no pressure. Whether it's a strange dream, an emotion you felt, or something that's been on your mind, getting it out of your head and onto paper can reduce mental clutter and calm your nervous system. Small changes like this turn the night from a battleground into a space for healing. And if after a few minutes you still don't feel sleepy, don't panic. You may just need a moment of stillness. Trust your body. It knows how to come back to rest, sometimes, better than your mind does. In the next section, we're going to explore a powerful yet often overlooked cause of early wake-ups that has nothing to do with anxiety or mindset, but everything to do with your body's most basic need, hydration. Part 2. Drink water the right way. Support your body back to sleep. One sip of the wrong water at 3 a.m. might be the reason you're wide awake until sunrise. That may sound dramatic, but after working with hundreds of older women struggling with fragmented sleep, I've come to realize how deeply overlooked hydration is, especially during the night. Here's the truth. When you wake up in the early hours, feeling restless, slightly hot, or with a racing heart, your body could be trying to tell you it's missing something vital, fluid, and minerals. And here's the twist. You may not even feel thirsty. As we age, our internal thirst signals become less sensitive, meaning your body might be dehydrated long before you sense it. That subtle dehydration can activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, pushing your body into a state of alertness that makes falling back asleep nearly impossible. So what do most people do? They stumble to the kitchen, grab a cold glass of water, and gulp it down, hoping it'll calm things down. But here's the part most people don't know. Drinking cold water in the middle of the night actually wakes your body up even more. It shocks your digestive system, raises your heart rate, and can stimulate your gut in ways that make it harder, not easier, to sleep. Instead, try this. Keep a small cup of room temperature or warm water near your bed. It's easier for your body to absorb and helps restore balance without triggering a stress response. Want to make it even more effective? Add a pinch of natural sea salt or a few drops of lemon juice. These small additions aren't just for taste, they help replenish your body's electrolytes, including magnesium and potassium, which are essential for muscle relaxation and calm nerves. I've seen many women who wake up with restless legs or cramping around 3 or 4 a.m., often caused by subtle deficiencies in these very minerals. Just a few sips of this mineral-rich water can gently signal your nervous system to relax, your muscles to soften, and your body to feel safe enough to fall back asleep. And if you're someone who wakes up feeling emotionally unsettled or anxious, here's something I've recommended with great results: a warm glass of water with a teaspoon of honey or a small cup of chamomile tea. Honey provides a gentle rise in blood sugar, which can prevent sudden overnight drops that trigger wakefulness, while chamomile contains a pigeonin, a compound that binds to certain brain receptors and helps induce calm and sleep. It's like giving your nervous system a soft blanket to curl up in. Remember, this isn't about drinking a full glass and overfilling your bladder. Just a few mindful sips can create the shift your body needs. It may seem simple, but done right, this can be one of the most powerful tools to ease you back into sleep. You see, waking up at night isn't just a disruption. It's a moment of vulnerability where your body is asking for care, not punishment. Instead of getting angry with yourself for being awake, offer your body what it quietly needs: gentle hydration, warmth, and reassurance. And if that moment feels heavier than usual, if water isn't quite enough, it might be because what's keeping you up isn't just physical at all. In the next part, we'll explore something far deeper: how your emotions, especially the unspoken ones, might be what's truly waking you up in the quiet hours before dawn. Part 3. Your emotions might be waking you up. Sometimes, even after you've hydrated gently and done all the right things physically, you're still wide awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., and that's when we need to look inward. Have you ever woken up in that still, quiet hour and felt something you couldn't name? Maybe not fear, not sadness exactly, but a vague uneasiness, like something unfinished was hovering just under the surface? That's no coincidence. What if I told you that what's waking you up isn't your bladder or your back, but your unspoken emotions? For many of the older women I've worked with, this time of night is when the mind finally has space to speak, because the noise of the world, the obligations of the day, the distractions are all gone. You're alone with yourself. And while that can be peaceful, it can also bring up grief, anxiety, regrets, and unresolved tension that have gone unacknowledged. Traditional Chinese medicine teaches that the hours between 3 and 5 a.m. are associated with the lungs not just as an organ of breath, but as a storehouse for emotional grief. And while we don't need to rely on ancient systems alone, it's powerful to consider that your body might be gently pointing you towards something you've pushed aside. Many of us, especially women who've spent decades caring for others, have been taught to suppress pain, to smile through worry, to carry invisible burdens for the sake of peace. But just because we don't say it out loud, doesn't mean our body isn't keeping score. If you find yourself waking during these hours with your heart heavy or your mind spiraling, try this. Keep a small journal by your bed. Don't wait until morning. The moment you feel it, right? Just jot down the first 3 thoughts that float through your mind. They might not make sense, That's okay. You're not writing a novel. You're letting your subconscious exhale. I've seen this simple act become a nightly ritual of emotional release for women who've held things in for too long. And if writing feels like too much, try breathing. Yes, breathing, but with intention. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale gently for 6. Imagine each exhale taking a little piece of tension with it. This isn't about solving your problems at 3 a.m. It's about honoring the part of you that still feels them. It's a gentle reminder, your emotions matter, even in the dark. When you meet them instead of avoiding them, they lose their power to keep you awake. And over time, you may find that the wake-ups become less frequent, not because life got easier, but because you stopped ignoring what was always there. So, if your body feels calm but your heart feels loud, listen, write, breathe, let yourself feel, without judgment. And know that this too is part of healing. In the next section, we'll explore a more physical but equally surprising factor, how a simple shift in your body, just a few tiny movements, can help you drift back into rest far more easily than staying still ever will. Part 4. Move gently. Don't stay still. So, you've checked in with your emotions, you've hydrated gently, and you're still lying awake. What now? Here's something that might surprise you. Staying completely still could be making it harder for you to fall back asleep. Most people, especially older adults, instinctively freeze when they wake up in the middle of the night, hoping that if they just stay still long enough, sleep will sneak back in. But in reality, your body isn't built for hours of frozen stillness. After decades of experience with senior clients, I've seen how even a healthy sleeper can develop stiffness, tension, and poor circulation during the night. The older we get, the more our muscles need movement to stay relaxed and responsive. That heavy feeling in your back or that tingling in your legs when you wake up, that's your body saying, "Help me reset." You see, lying in one position too long reduces blood flow to key areas like your hips, lower back, shoulders, and neck. This can lead to discomfort that your brain may interpret as danger, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And guess what happens next? The brain ramps up cortisol and alertness, just enough to prevent you from dozing off again. That's why I always recommend a few gentle, intentional movements if you find yourself awake at this hour. Start small. Roll your shoulders forward and backward. Gently turn your head side to side. Draw small circles with your ankles while still lying down. This tells your body, "I'm safe." You can relax. One of my favorite mini stretches is simply pulling your knees slightly toward your chest while lying on your back, just enough to stretch your lower spine without over-engaging the core. Or try lightly shaking out your legs, like you're letting go of tension. These micro-movements can increase circulation, lower tension, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. Think of it like resetting your body's rhythm without waking it up fully. I've had patients tell me that just 30 seconds of stretching helped them return to sleep faster than any sleep aid ever had. The secret is to move without stimulation, keep the lights dim, stay mindful, and breathe slowly as you stretch. This isn't exercise. It's restoration. It's you saying, "I'm here, I'm listening, and I'm not going to fight my body anymore." And sometimes, in that quiet acceptance, your nervous system lets go. You might even fall back asleep mid-stretch. Yes, I've seen it happen. Now, if you've tried this and your body still feels restless, don't give up. There's still one more gentle yet powerful method I want to share. It doesn't require movement, journaling, or even opening your eyes. In fact, all you have to do is listen, because the sounds you allow into your mind at night can either calm your brain or keep it wired until morning. And in our next section, I'll show you exactly how to use soothing sound as a natural way to lead your body back into peace and into sleep. Part 5. Listen to soothing sound to relax your brain. If movement doesn't quite ease you back into sleep, don't worry. Sometimes the body needs something even more subtle, sound. But not just any sound. Because what you hear in those quiet, vulnerable hours can either soothe your nervous system or accidentally jolt it awake. Far too often, I see people reach for their phones when they wake up in the middle of the night. They scroll through the news, check emails, maybe even play a game, hoping it will distract them enough to fall back asleep. But the blue light from those screens tells your brain, morning's here. It halts melatonin production, stimulates alertness, and makes it nearly impossible for the body to re-enter a restful state. That's why I want to introduce you to something different, something I've recommended for years to my clients who struggle with waking up at 3 a.m. Soothing sound, when used correctly, can guide your mind away from overthinking and gently coax your body back into a state of calm. I often suggest starting with pink noise, the gentler, more natural cousin of white noise. Think ocean waves, steady rainfall, or leaves rustling in the breeze. Unlike white noise, which can feel harsh or mechanical, pink noise mimics the natural rhythm of the world around us. It blends into the background and masks sudden disruptive sounds, helping create a soft cocoon of safety for your mind. In fact, studies show that pink noise can increase deep sleep quality, especially in older adults. If you're someone who wakes up due to anxiety, racing thoughts, or even emotional tension, guided meditation can be a beautiful alternative. These recordings combine gentle voice prompts with slow breathing cues and calming imagery to help bring your nervous system back into parasympathetic mode, the place where healing and rest occur. You don't need to meditate perfectly. Just lie back, press play, and let the voice carry you. Some women I work with say they fall asleep halfway through. Others simply feel emotionally lighter after. Both are wins. Another option I love, especially for those who feel emotionally attached to stories or voices, is audiobooks, but not just any kind. Choose books you've already read, with soft, slow narration. That way, your brain isn't tempted to stay alert to follow the plot. Instead, it recognizes the rhythm, relaxes, and lets go. Want a tip? Create a playlist in advance. Fill it with pink noise, a few meditations, or comforting audio passages. Keep a speaker or your headphones within reach, so if you wake up, you don't need to fully open your eyes or scroll through apps. Just one press, and you're back in a calming soundscape. Think of it as tucking your brain in again. Your goal isn't to force sleep, but to create an environment where sleep naturally returns. You've supported your body with hydration, honored your emotions, moved with care, and now invited peace through sound. In the final part of this video, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder and a powerful perspective shift, because waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. isn't always a problem to fix. Sometimes, it's an opportunity to listen more deeply to yourself and live with more awareness and ease. Now that you've walked with me through these quiet, early hours of the morning through hydration, gentle movement, emotional awareness, and the power of sound, I want you to hear this clearly. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. does not mean something is wrong with you. In fact, it might mean that something within you is finally ready to be noticed. Your body isn't broken. Your mind isn't failing. It's speaking to you, in the only way it knows how, through signals, discomfort, and yes, through sleeplessness. And when we stop fighting those moments, when we listen instead of panic, something beautiful begins to happen. We heal. I've worked with many older women who once feared these early wake-ups. But over time, they learned to see them not as a curse, but as a quiet invitation, a sacred pause in the night where they could reconnect with their breath, their body, their inner world. They discovered that just a few sips of warm water, a stretch, a scribbled thought, or the sound of rain could guide them back, not just to sleep, but to themselves. So if you've made it to this point in the video, I want you to know, you're not alone in this. So many women silently battle restless nights, and it's time we stop seeing that as weakness. It takes strength to be gentle with yourself in the dark. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced these early morning wake-ups? What's helped you? Or maybe, what hasn't? Scroll down and share your story in the comments. It might be exactly what another woman needs to read tonight. And if you found even one thing here that spoke to you, please tap that like button so more women like you can find this message. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started. Every week, we'll talk about health, aging, emotional wellness, and how to thrive, not just survive, after 60. Because growing older isn't about fading away. It's about becoming more deeply yourself, one night and one morning at a time. Sleep well, my friend. And I'll see you in the next video.